Good evening, people. Good evening. Good evening. I tell you, I opened up a can of worms. And I can say I did that by talking about the Ponzi scheme. And Lord, lo and behold, for me to mention, I think it's Storehouse Agape Church out on Highway 39 with Pastor Willis and First Lady Linda Willis. And folks, anytime, hold on a minute, Dice, I need, address that. Just take his thing from him. And my son is acting up, folks. And so what we fixing to do, we fixing to take him. Dice, take the computer from him and put him over there on that couch over there. Okay, people, I'm back, and I want to apologize for that. Sometimes, you talk to your children, you have to show them. Sometimes action speaks louder than words. I can tell you I got a phone call first from somebody by the name. She told me her name was Lois Donald. And we talked and everything, and she said that I am the person that started the multi-level marketing scheme at Agape Church. She said Pastor Willis and his wife did not have anything to do with it. We talked a while and everything, and so we talked about people losing their money. She said that she made $4,000. She said that she has spent $8,000 to $9,000 of her own money paying people back that have lost money dealing with this thing. And she said she didn't do it anymore. Now, people, I'm going to pull you up a text that I got, and Dice, man, I want you to pull it up, of the text that I got where I'm not slandering your pastor. And Pastor Willis, I know you're probably listening at this. I'm not slandering your pastor. When somebody give me information, what I do is I report that information. Now, I understand that a lot of people that are involved in the Ponzi scheme, the multi-level marketing scheme, the pyramid scheme are innocent people and just really looking for a way to make some money and have no intentions of ripping other folks off. As I stated before, and I reiterate, it's against the law. And have you pulled it up yet, Dice?
Which one you want?
I want you to pull up the first one where I got the text from the ladies talking about what's going on at Agape Storehouse Church.
Okay. Standing in Stratford Manor. Is that the one?
Well, you pull it up and kind of read it a little bit. I have a lot of these things that I'm going to show you, folks. And I can tell you people that I did not lie. Now, I had another person reach out to me through Messenger. And that person's name was A.J. Lovegood. Now, that's how she's a female, and she's a member of this church at Agape Storehouse Church, or Storehouse Agape, however they say it, I don't know. Very nice conversation. Invited me to the church, and so when she called me, she was the second person to contact me, and so I said that I have already talked to her. Now, some people call her Lois Lane, L-A-N-E, maybe that's her married name. But I think her name is Dolores. Donald is her maiden name. That's what she told me. Now, if that's not it, she lied. Now, she told me that she had folks of Tubal. Yes, she's related to our family out of Whitfield, Alabama. But it doesn't matter who you're related to. Folks, I got to tell y'all this. Pastor Willis, Reverend Cole at my church, whom I have a lot of respect for, have a lot of love and respect for him and his first lady and my church family there. I have a lot of respect for a lot of the ministers around here. I had a lot of respect for Joe Moore, Reverend Joe Moore, the late Reverend Joe Moore. He died when he was 43 years old. And I tell you, I watched that man suffer. Now, those of you out there that are listening to me, your Bible tells you to be wary of the wiles of the devil. Said that the devil know the book better than the man that wrote the book. Now, I might be paraphrasing and saying it in my own word. God said, arm yourself with the whole armor of God. He said that be wary of wolves in sheep clothing. See, I'm telling you things. Pastor Willis is not God. First Lady Willis is not God. Reverend Cole is not God. These are messengers, allegedly messengers of God. But in that same book that you're trying to castigate me with, and talk about me with, that same book tell you that you will know the tree by the fruit. Now, I'm going to say this to you. Now, I asked the sister one question. She told me I should apologize. I said, whoa. Apologize for what? So I sent her an email. I said, I want to ask you a question. I said, before you answer this question, I said, think about it very carefully. Now, I may not have used those words, but I actually could go back and read it. And I sent this to A.J. Lovegood. I said, did Reverend Willis, Pastor Willis, and First Lady Willis know about the multi-level marketing scheme at his church? I said, now think very careful before you answer this question. In other words, don't lie to me, sister. Answer that question right there. I said, if he did know about it, he's just as guilty as the author of the person that started the scheme. He's just as guilty if he know about it. And I said, not only that, what about all the peoples in that church that lost money, folks? You got people in that church lost money. And I'm gonna tell you something. And Tarquez, I gotta say this to you. And I didn't hear Beverly Hobson say this, who is a member of this church. Tarquez Hobson, a member of this church. We can show you flowers, and we're going to show them. Pull them up at random, Dice Man. Just pull them up. And I want them to leave them there, because it has people named that are members of this church that are participating in this scheme. Now, I'm going to read something to you while Dice Man, I just want you to pull each one of them up and leave them up there for the people to read. Y'all read them yourself at random. I want to read this to you about a pyramid scheme. And also, have you found the law yet? Because I want the law up there. Because a lot of people lost money. And those of you that lost money, it's a number that you can call. So I'm going to put the law up there for you to read and for you to contact the Attorney General. See, you might think that Reverend Willis or Reverend Clark or Reverend Cole is your God. But God said that he is a jealous God. And there is only one God. Now, if your pastor is doing something wrong and you know it, if he know about it and he's not saying anything to it, and he got members in his church that are losing money, as a leader of that church, it is his duty to bring it to a stop. If it is against the law, the book that you read every Sunday and every night when you're studying says obey the laws of the land and the laws of this land. The state of Mississippi says that multi-level marketing schemes is illegal in the state of Mississippi. Now, God said you can't serve two masters. You can't serve Mammon and God. You can't do both. God also says that he is a jealous God. So, Kim, I want Dice Man, pull up what Kim Houston had to say. And if you don't mind, Dice, in your eloquent voice, could you read what Kim had to say? And you don't have to read all of it, but I want to read what she said. And while he pulled that up, I'm going to read this to you. And you can look it up. And this here, now understand again, the number for you to call is 601-359-3680. That's a hotline for the Attorney General that will take you there and get you your money back. See, I thought that I was going to have to file a lawsuit, but I don't have to, because you can get your money back by calling. Dice Man, would you read what Kim Houston? Now, this is our council person who's supposed to be a minister. Go ahead, Dice, read it, please.
Okay. Says, touch not these chosen ones of mine. He warned, and do not hurt my prophets.
Okay, now let's stop right there. That's all you got to read. That's what Kim Burner Houston, do you realize that God said, do not hurt his? He said, suffer not the little children, the heirs of the kingdom of God. My prophets, he's not talking about the devil. He's not talking about Mammon. He's not talking about people that operate multi-level marketing schools and doing so in the church. All these people are members of the church. Dice, just put them up there and leave them up there, because I want you people to see your name. And also I want you to pull the law up there, because I want them to read the law. Now see, I'm going to say this to you that are doing these schemes, and you continue to operate, and you don't look at this podcast. Ain't no sense in hiring Stuart Parrish or Joseph Denson, some of the best attorneys in this state. Now, bar none, for me, Joseph Denson at Denson Law Firm is the best in the country. Yeah, and I'm not biased. I'm just speaking facts. Now, they ain't going to be able to save you if you know you're breaking the law. And Kim, who's a prophet? You most certainly not one. You look at all the things going on, and I'm going to talk about my show Thursday going to be what happened to the governing authority of the city of Meridian. Kim, I'm talking about you. Dice Man, have you pulled up the law yet? Okay, the Dice Man going to pull the law up, and he's going to put it up there for you. But what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to read to you about a pyramid scheme. Assume a pyramid scheme in which each person recruit 10 new people beneath him or her. Now understand that if I start this, I'm the con man, I started. I go out and get 10 people, and I want each one of those people to give me $200 or $2,000. Whatever it is that I get them to give me, those 10 people that I get got to go out and get 10 people. Now you understand 10 times 10 is 100, right? So on the second tier, you got 200 people. Now I'm finna read this to you now. Assume a pyramid scheme in which each person recruits 10 new people. There's one person at the top and 10 beneath him or her, 100 beneath them, 1,000 beneath them, and so forth. The pyramid would everyone on earth would have everyone on earth. Understand? Would have everyone on earth in just 10 layers, folks. 10 layers of people with the current artists on the top with all the money buying houses, and the bottom layer would have more than 4.5 billion people. It's impossible. You can't do that. But if you could do that, these people at the bottom, the 4.5 billion people at the bottom ain't going to get no money at all because they ain't got nobody to go to. The people above them are not going to hardly get any money. So you understand that the con artist at the top is getting paid off every step of the way. Now, Tarquez don't know this. The young lady he talked to happened to be a very good friend of mine, and he know that. How about Tarquez Hobson over on 42nd Street buying houses? He wanted the address because he wanted to buy the house and improve that area right there. Now, Beverly Hobson is attacking me, but she told someone, now this is hearsay for me, that she was doing it, but she stopped. Beverly, we ain't got none of your stuff yet, and you may have or you may not have. But how is it that people like you going to talk about a person like me, and you're acting like you're all God and holy, and you're better than me, and you're better than everybody else? And if you're doing so well, if you're doing so good, why are you stealing money from people that don't have it to give? Because when you go to somebody, not only is it against the law, have you put the law up there yet, Dice Man? It won't pull up. But again, Dice, if you can, could you type in, is there any way for you to type in 601-359-3680 and put that across the stream as the contact number for help with the ML, the multi-level, the Ponzi scheme, call it whatever you want to? Put that up there so that when you guys watch this, you will see that number there. Or just listen to this podcast and you will hear me talk about it. The number again is 601-359-3680. And this is the number to the Attorney General for the state of Mississippi. He enforces the prohibition of pyramid schemes in Mississippi. The Federal Trade Commission of the United States, the FCC, also prosecute pyramid schemes as deceptive trade practices. Because, and I can tell you about and how about then somebody go and start talking about me and saying things about me, how I'm lying on the pastor. What, Dice, you got all that stuff up there? Those are not lies, folks. That's coming from the church. Pastor Willis, I'm going to say this to you. If you know all this is going on in your church and you hadn't shut it down, the FBI going to take you to jail as the leader of that church. What are you going to say then, Beverly? What are you going to say then, Miss Lovegood? What are you going to say then, Miss Lois Lane or whoever you are? And I'm not being flippant. And see, what kind of like, and I'm going to tell you, I'm a little bit upset. Here I am. You castigate me. If I run for mayor, you wouldn't even vote for me. But I'm the kind of nigga you need. You wouldn't vote for me because you don't like me because I talk about your God. That's your God. That's not my God. It happened to be all y'all God. And guess what? The irony in all this is that we talking about females. What the hell going on? The pastor already got a wife. If God is your bodyguard and you got yourself armed with the whole armor of God, you don't need females taking up for you. So what's this fixation with all you females calling me and talking to me and saying things about me? Now understand, this is what I said to her. I said that if you can show me, this is what I said to Miss Lovegood. When I sent her that text too, Beth, when I told her, I said, if the pastor know about it, he's just as guilty. I said, and if he don't know about it, why he got, bruh, these people are in his church that are losing money, and he's not doing anything, showing himself to be an ineffective leader. And two, Beth, they mad at me, the messenger. I ain't said nothing wrong. Pastor Willis ain't said nothing to me at all. His females came after me. And dignified. Even Kim got something to say. Kim, if you spent more time doing what's right, perhaps you and your family would still be together. You know, I know all about you and your family. I know what your husband did, and I know that y'all no longer married. See, you ain't doing right because God punished you. See, God said that you grab your woman, Two-Belt, don't you say it. Folks, y'all see how Two-Belt interrupted me? Uh-oh, I know what some of y'all gonna say out there, especially, what, small town Mississippi, all gas, no break. Said Two-Belt must be in my head. Hell yeah, he in my head. I know what he finna say. Two-Belt don't say it, but I gotta say this to you. You know what Two-Belt finna say to me? Bro, you ain't kept your first wife. I ain't kept my second, third, or fourth, or fifth wife. Wait a minute, hold up. I ain't married my fifth wife yet. She's so crazy, I might not never marry her, Dice, man. But anyway, if the Bible said that you cling to him, that's your reason for leaving home. So all of you females that are taking care of pastor, instead of looking at the pastor and saying something to me, how about looking at what's going on in your church? Dice, you got all them things I said and put up there. And folks, y'all look at it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, and Dice going to leave that up there for you while he play a song. Can you do that, Dice? So you guys can stroll that and look at it however you want to do it. But the Dice man is finna play a song, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some more. Folks, so I want to welcome you back to Reaching Out with Eddie. And what I did is I sent it to my email, but for some reason I had it configured wrong. But anyway, it's Mississippi Code 75245, selling, offering, or attempting to sell, participation, or a right to participate in a pyramid scheme involving the sale, distribution, or lease of goods, service, or other property. See, even if they had something that they were selling, but it was a pyramid scheme, meaning how they got the flowers set up, it still makes it illegal under the state of Mississippi. And the penalty is selling, offering, or attempting to sell, participate, or a right to participate in a pyramid scheme is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months in prison and up to a $500 fine. That's the first offense. But when you have encapsulated so many other people, so many people that are innocent, people don't know. And the person that started this, wow, man, and then Scotty Cole, man, you're a pastor. And why didn't, Scotty, didn't nobody come to your defense? So everybody know about you. But at least they came to Pastor Willis, and now that's not like hey, get out of jail free card, because the indictment is that so many people at the Agape Church fell victim to this. One lady that talked to me and gave me her information, relatives in California was drawn into this scheme and lost money and want their money back because they have it. And when you go to people that are in their 70s and you go out and buy houses and cars, they tell me Scotty Cole is building him a nice house. Off your money, folks. Off your money. Call the Attorney General. This is Mississippi Code. That's MCA Section 7524-5. But MCA Section 7524-9 empowers the Attorney General of the state of Mississippi to place a lien on everybody that participate in this. We'll say the heads, the con artists. It allows the state of Mississippi to place liens on their properties, anything they own, also to come after them and take anything that they have in order to pay restitution to the victims of this. And this is a pyramid scheme. This is not a legitimate business. A legitimate business is something like such as what some of you out there have, such as, like, say, Quincy across the street, Quincy Tent Shop. He has a tent shop. That's a legitimate business. You come in there, he tell you, he look at your vehicle, and he'll tell you how much he's going to charge you, and he'll pay you, you pay him to put 10 in his car, and he do other things. That's a legitimate business. Tool Belt go out and he build houses. Tool Belt build anything. He go out and build houses, but he give people an estimate, and then they pay him after he services runner. That's a legitimate business. But when you have a thing where you bring in 8 people, or 6 people, or however many people, with the top 2 players get paid once they bring in, you understand that if I go get 2 people, if I start a con game, I start this Tool Belt, and I go out and I get 2 people. So, hey, y'all give me $500 a piece, and then go out and get 2 people, and I'm going to pay you $4,000 a piece. You understand that the 2 people that they go get, those 2 people going to have to go get 2 people. You understand? All this money come back to me, basically. And what Scotty Cole does is he charges people a fee. So he's double dipping, and he's building him a house, folks, and he doesn't work anywhere that I know of other than preaching the word of God. And I can say this, Pastor Willis, that you all love, but there's no way that and I imagine his picture came up too. Didn't it, Dice? Yeah, his picture came up, and his wife, First Lady. I wouldn't have that, Pastor Willis, if somebody didn't send that to me. And these people are really upset, and they faulting you as the leader. If anything go wrong in your household, it's not the children's fault. You understand what I'm saying, people? Dice Man, open up those phone lines. Well, we're going to open up the phone lines so you can call in. And Dice Man, I want to read those comments also.
All right, let's get those out the way.
So we're going to read the comments, and we're going to open up the phone lines. And again, when you call in, be respectful.
Okay. Let's see here. Go to the top. We got Tristan B. Hampton says, "Good evening, guys. How are y'all?"
Hey, Tristan.
Hey, Tristan. Doing good. Ellen Franklin says, "Good evening, Dyson Holt."
Okay, Miss Marie, the phone lines are open.
Evening,
Marie, I don't want you to hit me with a stick. Tony will cut me. You hit me with a stick.
Abuse. Tony Owens, All Gas No Break 81 says, "Good evening, guys. Just tried to watch the city council meeting. The audio is always bad."
Yeah, they don't want you to hear what's going on.
Tony Owens says, "Good afternoon, everyone."
Hey, babe.
Hey there, Tony. Kendall Holt says, "Get 'em, cuz."
What's up, fam?
All Gas No Breaks 81 also says, "If people call the Attorney General about being scammed, do they need to have screenshots of the scheme and the people involved to prove it?"
Stop right there. Very good question, All Gas No Break. They don't have to have screenshots. All they got to know is that what did and who did it. They're going to have to prove that they didn't do it. And I'm sure, and these people, All Gas No Breaks, they test Scotty Cole, "Hey, I want my money." They testing these folks, "Hey, I want my money." That's why Miss Lane or Miss Lois is paying folks their money back, because these people they lost money. They ain't able to bring nobody in because everybody already in. What's something new hit an area, they don't take long before it burn out. And even the people that started this, the people in these different churches, eventually they're going to have to find something else to do because the money will peter out.
Okay. Brenda Gordon says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Eddie, just tell the truth and the truth will set you free. Be careful for nothing. Just stick with what the law says and the truth. The truth will hold its own."
And Brenda, I appreciate that. It's very good advice. And I didn't make this up about anyone. These are members of that church sent it to me. As you guys can go there and stroll, you can see your names on there. A lot of people's last names are not on there. You can see, I can just tell you, Tarquez Copson got it going on, folks. He finna buy houses with your money.
Okay, and last but not least, Fred Welch says, "What's up, fellas? Salute."
And salute to you, Fred, also. And what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the phone line so that you guys can call in if you have your questions. And near the end of this show, if you have any other questions or concerns, then we'll talk about that. I want to talk about the chaos with the Meridian Public School when you have to go and pick your child up, or I have to go and pick my child up. Now, I have children that go to T.J. Harris, upper and lower. Now, the principal at T.J. Harris, she's mean-spirited, folks. She tried to be sweet and nice, but she's actually out of her environment. She's a white lady. She's about 50-some years old, so you know she done seen some things and then perhaps maybe even done some things. I don't have a lot to say about folks that come into our community and work and want to raise our children and try to tell our children what to do. So she have a line, folks, and she have that line. If you know anything about T.J. Harris, if you're out there and T.J. Harris and you look, T.J. Harris, lower West End, you have to go in, and she got everybody parking on the right side of the road. Now, they can't park on the left side of the road to come in and pick up their children. Now, I got to tell you this about Parkview Elementary School. They got car lines coming from both directions. If you're coming from Grandview Avenue, then you stay in the left lane. If you're coming from Magnolia Park swimming pool at the bottom of the hill, then you stay in the right lane. And the benefit in that is that and they have somebody there with a stop sign that will allow for children to go, and it really moves very fast. But this lady had cars all the way around. Damn it, let me tell my story. She had cars parked all the way to East Mississippi State Hospital. I had to laugh at that. Not quite that far, folks. Yeah, for real. One day it was all the way out there on Highway 19. See, I couldn't get it right. But anyway, that's a long line. The point of it is that it takes people a long time. And so she got angry. Now, you understand that the teachers out there with walkie-talkies so that they can talk to each other and say, hey, get this child. She got angry one day, and she got angry at me. I don't mind telling y'all. Because, you know, folks, I'm coming from 8th Street. Now, I'm coming from 8th Street, Tool Belt. I got to go all the way around to East Mississippi and park right there and get in that line. And it would have been about 5 or 6 o'clock before I even had an opportunity to get to my son. But the point of it is that I stayed in that left lane. I said, why don't you have people in this lane? She said, the bus come out. I said, bro, it's a crossroad. Anybody know about West End, Harris, TJ, Lower Campus? It's a crossroad right there. The bus is parked right there. There's no reason for her not to have both lines. This evil heifer took all the walkie-talkies from the teacher so that she could be the only one. Bro, she walked all the way around there by the Frank Cochran Center to tell people, and then call it all the way back. Folks, let me tell my story. But anyway, bro, I just went on up there. And so I'm telling one of the subs, hey, I want my son. We don't have a walkie-talkie. She took them all. Now, that's mean, folks. You know what I did. I went in the classroom. I said, where is my son? I went there. I went where the Miss Hardy's classroom used to be in one area of the school. She's in a different area this way, but my son is the same teacher. I asked the janitor, custodian, where is Miss Hardy's class? And she told me. And she said, you got to go around there. And I went in, I knocked on the door. She came out. I said, I came at my son called a hoe. She said, you got to go get in the line. I said, I want my son. Now, bruh, if she hadn't gave me my son, damn it, I'd have went up in there and got him. But she seen my eyes, and she went and got my son and gave it to him. So me and my son left. Okay, so the next day, bro, I do the same thing again. This time, it created chaos because all them parents were standing out around there for their children. She couldn't do that anymore. That wasn't going to work. So I pull up there. I want my son. I'm in the outside lane. You know, I'm coming. You know where I came from. She cut. You know, this heifer had nerves to tell me and say, I said, that's my son. And I'm going to say this to you all out there. There's no way that I'm going to love your child better than you. And she slammed my door. Now, see, that's a woman that's been there too long. It's time for her to go. Now, some of you out there say, I'm black and white and I'm a racist. Well, damn it, I don't like Percy Bland ass, and we're going to get him up out of there if we have to drag him up out of there, and that's a black man. But she's a white woman. I just believe you don't hardly see you don't hardly go to the majority black schools. You're not going to see that many, you're not going to see as many black teachers teaching white children or instructing white children or teaching white children their black folks' culture. You ain't going to see that because they ain't going to allow for that. Now, that school is an F. They should have sent that hell for a long time ago. She should have left before Amy Carter left. Hold up, I ain't through talking. I'm finna talk about T.J. Harris upper campus. Now, you understand that ain't much more than an F or a D itself. So the principal of that school, he's all right, but he should have been fired too. I can't be partial. He ain't gonna like me saying this, but he should have been fired too. Now I'm finna tell you what happened to him. Now my son Connor is a very good student, astute, highly intelligent, like all black children are. You just gotta put it. You just gotta be there with him. He said, "Daddy, Miss Walker won't let me go to the bathroom." I said, "Who?" Miss Pearlie Walker. "Daddy, I'm talking about when he come out of school, he holding it. And she won't let me go, Dad." So I go and talk to the principal. That's Dr. Blackman. I go and talk to him. I said, "How long she been there?" He said, I said, "It's probably time for her to go. She been there a long time." He said, No. He'll be able to go to the bathroom. Guess what, Tube Belt? The next day, my son come up. Now, this here, understand now, this here was Monday when I picked him up. He got a pee so bad, bruh, he peed at the school. I'm talking about, folks, my boys, they big boned it like that. No, I ain't gonna say that. But my son just pulled it out and he peed right there before he got in the truck. That's just how bad he had to pee. I said, "Son, what's wrong?" He said, "She won't let me go to the bathroom, Daddy." I said, "What?" Okay, so bro, I went to the school and I talked to Dr. Blackman again. I sat there this morning and I waited on him. And I told him, I said, "Look here." I said, "No, we got a problem." I said, "Now she still won't let my son go to the bathroom." Now this here is Pearlie Walker. P. Walker, for those of you that want to go back and tell her, "Old heifer, you need to go home and retire. You do not need to be dealing with our children, period." And I'm telling you that. Now, I'm going to just tell you, Miss Walker, I ain't one nigga you want to fool with. I'm just going to tell you that because I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Now, folks, I got to tell y'all this. Not everybody hands-on with their children. But I'm sure those that don't know and those that are afraid to don't love their children any less than I love mine. And so I said something to Dr. Blackman. I said something again to him today. He said, "What?" He said, "Well, come back here at 12 o'clock and we're going to meet with her." I said, No, I don't want to meet with her. And I don't need to meet with her. I said, "See, my son saw that she would not let other children go to the bathroom, and he was afraid to ask her to go. And so he peed outside at your school on your parking lot out there." Folks, I'm finna tell you this. So when my son go to school today, when my son come out of class today, folks, he got tears in his eyes. Now I'm gonna stop this and I'll continue with my story. Go ahead, bring that call in, Dice Man. Caller, you on the podcast with Ed Holt?
And this is Marie Franklin. How are you all this afternoon?
I'm doing fine, Miss Marie. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Turn something down, Marie, because you're getting some feedback.
Is that better?
That is better.
Okay. What I want to tell you is the reason why. There's two things I want to say.
All right.
I agree with Brenda. The truth should always, always be told, because the truth is what's going to stand. Just because now all of these people coming to the Willis's defense, that's because in their 60 years of living, these people have lived an exemplary life. They are not God, just like you say. They are not God. And they are human and subject to error. As far as Miss Lane or Miss Dawn go, a lot of people that lost money, and the people at the top would say, "Well, you know, I thought what was supposed to happen was A, B, C, D." But she didn't do that. And it shows a lot to her character because she's trying to give money back to the people who lost it. And I commend her for that. And I still agree that no church should ever get involved in something like this. Because, like you say, the money gonna run out sooner or later. Somebody on that flower is going to get stuck. I really hate it. Now, did you know that Meridian have appointed another police chief Chris Reed. Chris Reed or something.
Chris
The man
Reed.
is.
You're not talking about Chris Reed that's already with the Marine Police Department, are you?
Yes.
Wow.
So the mayor is determined not to appoint Rita. And I feel, and I hope everyone, even the members of every church, every organization, everybody need to come together and galvanize and let him know it's not against you, Chris Reed. It is for Rita Jack. Bland need to know that this is our city and we should have a say-so sometime. One more thing. Kimberly Houston. She said to keep your name out the anointed one and do my prophet no harm. Of course it says that. And we are to do the prophet no harm. But it's telling the truth about some things that happen with members of his church is doing prophet harm. We got a problem. Because I know Pastor Willis, and words can do him nor his first lady no harm.
I gotta say this, Marie. Because a person calls himself a prophet does not make him one. It's simple as that. And again, God said, and your Bible said, judge a tree by the fruit it bear. I
didn't say prophet Willis. I say pastor.
No, I didn't. Oh, well, in my opinion.
That's what I'm trying to show you is that Kim used the word prophet.
But let me stop you right there. In my opinion, and most people gonna look at it as a prophet, a minister, and a reverend is all in the same category.
It is not.
I know that, Marie. We ain't finna discuss the Bible, but a prophet prophesies. I can explain that to them. And a minister ministers. A reverend is someone that's held in reverence. So those are three. But most people.
If you're going, I'll accept that. I'll accept the fact that that's your opinion. And what I'm going to say to that is still, if words that are true, will hurt anyone, that's a weakness in them.
That's right.
Not us.
That's right. And thank you, Marie, for calling in. And I appreciate that. And I agree with you. And I want to say this to you, Pastor Willis. If you're allowing for your congregation to rule you, then you're not the leader of the church. If you know that this is going on, then it is your duty to say something. Not as a pastor, but as a citizen that's obeying the law. As a citizen that's obeying the law, it is your duty to report any wrongdoing. And we're going to discuss this Chris Reed Thursday, folks. I sure want to know, Marie, do you know how it voted? Wow, Lo, how did it vote? Did anybody know how did the vote go? I don't think Weston approved for that, but I definitely want to know. Dwayne Davis, I'm going to tell you this. It's going whether or not I run against you, going to be determined by whether or not you voted for Chris Reed. And here's what I want to say about that, is that we don't have to worry about that, Marie. For us to galvanize and organize just to remove one person, to put one person in there, all we need to do is galvanize and organize and change this administration. If we get Purse up out of there, then Chris Reed gone too. Not only is he gone, we're going to find the wrongdoing his ass been doing, and we're going to put his ass in jail with everybody else. And here the thing of it is, wouldn't it be ironic if the feds come in here and take all of them to jail? All they got to do is get certain key players. And you know who they are. If they get Howard Cole, he going to squeal like a stuck pig. He's going to tell it. And folks, we're going to talk about some things. I kind of like had it a little bit wrong a little bit. But in actuality, the truth of the matter is that Howard Cole and Buck Roberts testified against Bill Gordon. Had they not testified, the feds was going to get them because they was taking bribes and taking payoff. And and again, we'll talk about these things when I come back. Dice, is there any more comments that we're going to read? And I got to say this too. Folks, you can see that I'm telling the truth. Now, I got to say this. It is almost, it's impractical. It's not practical for anyone to even suggest that Pastor Willis and First Lady Willis did not know about this pyramid scheme that was going on in his church. I'm not saying that he did know, but I can say this. When I asked his member that was speaking up for him, when I asked her, and then I said, and I will, folks, and I state this truthfully, if you can show me where I have wronged anyone, I most certainly will retract and apologize. I will. But I'm not going to apologize to anyone that allow for a Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme operated, and members of that church are victims. They got to know about it, because I'm sure if the members, I'm sure that the members that are losing money are reaching out to somebody. Hell, they're reaching out to Lolo and me, so I know they had to reach out to the pastor. Pastor, make them folks get them people their money back. Dice man.
Okay, we got Tracy Holt says, "What's up, everyone?"
Hey, baby, I love you.
What's up, Tracy? Kendall Holt says, "We got 68 people watching and 2 likes. Don't forget to hit the like button."
Boy, listen, that's my cousin. I'm going to have to call you nephew. You know I'm old enough to be your uncle, but you're right. You my first cousin once removed. That's my first cousin. Your granddad, you know we love your granddad like a dad. And David, that's Uncle Arthur's grandson.
Okay, and last but not least, Small Town Mississippi says, "All voted yes, but Western."
Wow. So we know what we need to do there, folks. We just got to remove. See, here again, the governing authority. Now, George don't care. He don't care. Why would he care? I mean, you know, like people my age and people that grew up in the east side of town, you know why Lolo does what she does and why I do what we do? And why people like Dice and my brother, because we grew up like that. We grew up caring about folks. We grew up with more. We grew up with things on. Dice, you hear that? That's Miss Penny Tube Belt in my head. Miss Penny Tube Belt, I didn't get in trouble till I was 25. So yes, my mama did raise me right. But folks, I had to say that because you always say all the time about me going to jail. And I did go to jail, but I'm back right with the house. And I like Tarquez. I really do. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a very intelligent person, very educated. I think that he would make a very good attorney. I think he'll make a very good leader one day. I think he's on the wrong side of history right now. I think that he's doing things that could really mess him up, because if he get arrested with this for operating a Ponzi scheme, and depends upon the magnitude, it can be a felony, because if you look at the law that I put up there for you, that if you do it 3 times, your 3rd time it's a felony. And so you definitely, we're not talking about this thing been going on for months or years or however long. Like anybody, people, I love money. The Bible said, it said, for the love of money is the root of all evil. I guess I'm evilly loving it, because I sure love money and the things it can do in life to make it easy, but it doesn't make me stupid. Doesn't make me a fool. But Ecclesiastes 10:19 says that laughter is for the party, wine makes it merry, and money answers all things. And I think that's God telling us that it's okay to, to drink wine. I think it's overindulgence. I think anything overindulgence is wrong. And it says that money is necessary basically for you to do things in life. But we can't, there's no way I can sit here and take money from Dice or for you out there, and knowing that you ain't got anything to eat or that it's hurting you. And for someone in their 70s or 60s or anyone, even if they're in their 20s or 30s, to lose money, it's hard out there. It's difficult to make money. It's difficult to go to work. Everything's been shut down. And y'all chose this time under this COVID pandemic to take money from people that people don't have. Now, that's not right. It's just not right at all. Now, if you're going to get mad at me, get mad at me. This is not Marie speaking. This is not Tube Belt. And this is not Dice Man. This is me speaking. If I have slandered you, if you can show me where I have slandered you, I will apologize. I will retract it. But you're going to have to show me that. But because your first lady, and from what I'm hearing, they have lived a very good life and have, I guess, been good folks. But it doesn't take but one thing to tear a reputation down. And I hate to bring up spilled water or old news, but look when when Rita Jack stood up there with Percy Bland, it tore down everything that she had built with a lot of you out there. It even made me fall back, and I had that my mouth was left agape. So, in other words, and then that support wasn't there when she went before the council the second time. Just that one little thing affected, it creates just like one domino falling down. So if the pastor has lived an immaculate life as a preacher and as a human being, as an individual and a father and a brother, it took this one little thing, this one little Ponzi scheme that somebody seen on the internet that tore that reputation down and feel alive for it to progress in his church. Scotty Cole ain't never had much of a reputation anyway. I'm just telling y'all that, folks. I mean, we always thought maybe that he was a pastor for just as an opportunist. He's very educated. I think he has a master's degree. So, you become a minister, but then you're doing these kind of things. So then God tell you again that judge the tree by fruit it bear. And he talks about the wolf in sheep clothing. And Kim, because you quote the Bible, that doesn't make you a minister. Look at me, I'm quoting it, I'm not a minister. I ain't quoting it like Marie can quote it or Brother Gordon can quote it, but I can quote it pretty good. I just want to say this to you guys. Are there any more comments, Dice Man? Is there anything you want to say, Dice? Yeah, folks, I got to say this, is that I really appreciate you guys listening. We're going to come back Thursday, and I think Lolo's supposed to be here today, but she stayed at that city council. Lolo going to be here. Y'all tell Lolo she's going to be here Thursday, and we have some more things that we're going to talk about. And let's just bury this thing. Now, what I mean by buried it, it's only necessary for me to continue to talk about it if you bring something for me to talk about. But if you look at this podcast here would tell you that I have not lied because I put all the information up there that was sent to me. This podcast also, when you go and look at it, would tell you who to contact if you are a victim of a Ponzi scheme. If you have not received any money, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a multi-level marketing scheme. That's what they call it. So you can go to this podcast and you can see anything that you want to see. And don't get mad at people. And Miss Lane or Miss Donna, Dolores Lane, Dolores Donald, or Lois Lane, Lois Donald. I want to say this to you. Don't go and fuss at folk for coming and telling people things because they lost money. People don't know what to do or who to talk to. But they know that they can talk to me. They know that they can talk to Lolo. Well, how about I showed them another person they can talk to? It's the Attorney General for the state of Mississippi or the FCC, the Federal Trade Commission. I think the FTC. And they'll come in here and they'll shut it down. And I promise you, y'all won't be going to that church because they'll take everything and confiscate everything in all these churches around here, whether it's Freedom Rock or whatever church Scotty Cole has or any other church that's involved in it. Folks, I got to tell you this. They ain't doing that over there at Mount Hermon Baptist Church. Now, I don't know what they doing everywhere else. It's a little small church with a little small congregation. A lot of blessing in it. Now, Marie, you're going to have to tell me the name of y'all church because that's another small church with a small congregation with a lot of blessing in it. And I'm saying this to say this, folks. It don't take a church packed up and you ain't got nowhere for the people to sit. It's what's right. If you got, now I'm going to tell you what Mr. Hobson said. He said that one show is worth 1,000 tell. See, one right action. If you got 1,000 people listening at something that's wrong, then that whole thing is wrong. But if you got 10 people that are listening at something that's right, it's better than that Ponzi scheme. Y'all have a good evening. Dice Man, take us home.